about a man that is a man is his mind. Everything else you can find in a pig or a horse. The human mind is the one thing that separates us from the rest of the creatures on Earth. Anything that comes to us in the future will almost certainly come to us as a result of the extent to which we use our minds.
I've waited a long time for this. You will scream.
If you want to develop the muscles of your body, you take daily exercise of some sort. Well, the mind is developed the same way. Last of all, the only thing in the world that can take you to your goals in life is your mind, its effective use, and following through on the good ideas it supplies you. Each of us has a tendency to underestimate his or her own abilities. We should realize that we have deep within ourselves a reservoir of great ability, even genius.
The human brain is a complex system of billions of neurons piloting this meat-bone mecha we call a body. One of the reasons we became the dominant species on our planet is due to our advanced cognitive skills, problem-solving abilities, abstract thinking, complex language, and of course our ability to yeet the absolute fuck out of various things. Our larger brains in relation to our bodies allows us to have so many incredible possible outcomes for our lives the more we work on them. But there's two things going on these days. 1. Some people think working on their brain will waste time and make them into a weak nerd, when that's literally not the case. This started because the average person will see someone successful like jacked athletes, and sometimes they aren't the brightest when it comes to book smarts, but due to their physicality and love for what they do, they become incredibly successful. And to be fair, being able to hit certain angles or move certain ways to adapt on the fly is 100% a form of intelligence. However, as we go on in this video, we'll explain why having only one type of intelligence can bite you, and how to have both muscles plus brains. But there's tons of real life incredibly jacked and intelligent people out there, just as there's tons of characters people love that are that way too. Hell, everyone wants to be Batman and Spider-Man, but be forgetting how intelligent each of them are. And don't worry, your friendly neighborhood JaxBlade will have upcoming tips to help you IRL as well. 2. The second thing that is greatly affecting people, brain rot is very real. Intelligence and attention spans have been steadily dropping in recent years. Hell, I guarantee a lot of people have already fallen off watching this video or are about to click off because it doesn't have that dopamine-inducing hyper editing and isn't less than 60 seconds long. At first it was a joke to be like, I ain't reading or watching all that. Hell, I used to say that too when I was younger, and I still don't read those Apple agreements even though I should have learned my lesson from South Park. And sometimes it's valid, but when something is unnecessary and becomes overused, it steadily becomes a call sign of people masking by using self-deprecation. People who generally can't are attempting to pull the crab in a bucket effect by trying to bring down others with them, like saying something like, this is dumb because it's long, right? Why waste time with this? They mask true feelings and mitigate feelings of inadequacy/inferiority and try to bring you down with them like a crab in a bucket, and then they clown you for trying to better yourself. The depressing reality is these days they have sadly made themselves into the joke and don't realize it's like putting your weakness on display for everyone else to see. Sort of like one of the Frieza soldiers who can't read power levels but thinks they're hot shit only to get quickly humbled by the Z Warriors. And thankfully most of my community is built of Z Warriors and not those Frieza soldiers, so I appreciate all y'all. But that emphasizes why I'm here to help y'all get gains and brains, and how we'll generally help y'all ascend in all areas in easy ways anyone can do, even if you have ADHD or even dyslexia, by working on 10 different things, starting with, I think it's universally agreed we all love having strong muscles, and we all love not having injuries that affect our daily activities. Mind-muscle connection is great for both and helping strengthen your mind's connection to your physique. When you do an exercise, most people just do movements without thinking, but with mind-muscle connection, aka MMC, just thinking about the muscles moving and working activates your muscle fibers more than if you perform the exercise without being focused or paying attention. Think of doing a bicep curl. You can swing the weight up and let it drop, which can surprisingly help you grow and can even be utilized in your program at times. Or you can control the weight going up and control the weight going down, and you'll notice a big difference in the contraction and also injury prevention. Simply put, the more you focus on a muscle while performing the exercise, the greater your strength and muscle memory gains will be while you control the weight all the way through. Now, if you're an athlete who has to be explosive and do drills, do them with purpose. Don't just go through the movement. Know why you're doing them. For example, let's say you're doing something like a band punch. You can just spam punch them out and feel like you did something versus knowing why. This is helping my explosive speed. I feel my triceps, shoulders, and chest being worked, which will give me more muscle conditioning, which will allow me to last longer. It's also helping me to strengthen my core and serratus muscles, which in turn will allow me to hit harder. This is a very simple thing that anyone can do to improve because so many people just go and do whatever. I always like to look up the benefits of an exercise when I do them, as it lets me know how I'm fortifying my body, but also allowing a stronger connection to my brain, which means strengthening certain neurons, which means my brain is improving. You can also utilize drills like the reflex lights, throwing and catching a tennis ball, hitting a reflex bag or a reflex ball as well, doing martial arts and learning complicated moves. Just be careful to avoid getting CTE. All of these could help stimulate your brain while also improving your body. You knew it was coming. There are so many benefits of meditation, and I'm just going to play this short I made a while ago because it covers this topic very well. If you've seen it already, you could skip, but if not, let's go.
You've probably seen characters meditate in shows and wonder if it's all mystical BS or if it's actually effective, when in reality, meditation is so effective it can make you stronger than most. There are many benefits to doing it, and it's been scientifically proven to make the brain stronger, more productive, and resilient as if you were doing weight training for the mind. Many elite real-life athletes do it to become the top of their game. Top fighters even use this to stay calm when they get decked in the face. But one of the primary benefits of doing meditation consistently is control over how you react to stressful situations. It actually allows you to mentally slow down so you can stay calm, focused, assess, and analyze, and choose how you respond instead of reacting immediately hyper-emotionally. Sort of like one of those video games where you can stop and choose a better path. If you cannot control your reactions, it doesn't matter how physically strong you are, another person can now use that to manipulate you negatively like a puppet master. When characters meditate, it's like using fire as a fuel source instead of letting it lose control and burn everything around them, including themselves. And when they attack instead of random automatic fire, they become more precise like sniper shots. If you want to learn how to meditate, check out my playlist here and subscribe. Got a ton of stuff like that on my channel.
Now, for the people who have ADHD but can't focus, I recommend listening to this great advice from the Healthy Gamer and taking some serious notes.
If you've got ADHD, force yourself to focus on one thing. You will fail, but then bring yourself back to it. Bring yourself back to it. Bring yourself back to it. And the real thing that happens with ADHD is not strengthening your ability to focus on one thing. What actually gets strengthened is your ability to return from a distraction to your task. So right now what happens with ADHD, this is the tricky thing. When you get distracted, what is the cost? Once you open up TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels or whatever, 45 minutes disappear before you come back to your task. When you meditate and as you become an expert meditator, you may get distracted the same amount. The difference is that within 5 seconds, you'll return. Think about that. Imagine if a distraction did not cost you as much. This is how meditation improves ADHD. It doesn't actually change the attentional, it does change the attentional fundamentals, but even without changing the attentional fundamentals, it reduces the price you pay for having ADHD. That's the real strategy.
I have a whole playlist of meditation videos on my channel, and I guarantee if you stick with this for 8 weeks, you will see improvements, but you gotta do it consistently, whether it be 2 to 5 minutes a day versus 10 to 20 minutes a day. Steadily build up. You got this. If you feel like you're starting to lose yourself or lose concentration or anything like that, just picture yourself as Majin Vegeta keeping away Babidi from trying to distract him. You are strong, and head games won't stop you. I can already tell some people about to log off or skip, but wait a second, don't let that inner Frieza soldier / bitch move you. There are so many benefits to reading versus watching a YouTube video on a subject, and yes, ironically, I'm including myself in that. A book has to undergo so many rewrites, verifications, and qualifications before it can go and get published and then become highly rated versus a YouTube video anyone with a smartphone can make. The knowledge you can learn from books can allow you to ascend further than others, and if you have issues with reading, try these types. First, find a subject you are curious about, and then don't look at it like you have to read the entire thing in one sitting or one day. You'll burn yourself out. Just try reading one full page, and then on a piece of paper, write down a very brief summary of what you just read, and then stop. This is going to help you retain information better. Then as you improve, you can read 2 to 3 pages, then 10 pages, and then maybe transition to time frames of reading for like 5 to 10 minutes to 30 minutes to an hour of reading, also using a highlighter for certain things that stick out to you. Another pro tip, if you like podcasts, try audiobooks, especially if you have issues with dyslexia. But here's a Super Saiyan booster tip. Listen to the audiobook while reading the page. This works better at helping you retain information than just listening to it as a podcast. You can also look into speed reading courses which teach you how to read faster. Boom! Attention training. All the things we've done so far require attention and focus and will steadily help you build up yours by byproduct. But if you want to train your attention span head on, try this. Things like TikTok, Reels, and YouTube Shorts, while very entertaining, have also played a role in greatly affecting people's attention spans. My kid cousin at Christmas even told me if a video is longer than a minute, she doesn't want to watch it. So here is an unorthodox way to help improve your attention that you could do once or twice a week depending on your personal schedule. Watch a movie. It can be on streaming, DVD, hell, even VHS. But I want you to watch it in your bedroom, but here is the kicker. No phone, no computer, no handheld games, no talking, no iPads, no looking around your room, no getting distracted. Just sit down in your room and watch the film. Now, this seems easy, and for some of you, this is gonna be a cakewalk, but you'd be surprised how many people break from this. In the theater, you have to be locked in watching a movie. But in your bedroom, there are so many distractions that makes it easy to zone out onto something else, especially if the film isn't grabbing you. So if you're watching a film and you zone out and have to rewind, take a note when you checked out at that time, and then also drop down and do 20 push-ups as a reminder. So you're strengthening your body and your mind in unison. But our next thing can help you improve even further. These are some of my personal favorites because brain games can help you improve your attention span, memory, brain speed, cognitive abilities, hand-eye coordination, problem-solving abilities, mood, and all give stimulating mental activity between your brain cells and to be more present in day-to-day activities. There are entire websites dedicated to these too, but if you just did this for 30 minutes a day, your mind will start to become sharper, and again, it has that effect of, in the moment, you don't recognize it, but weeks down the line, you start to notice how you process things compared to how you did before. Add these to your daily routine. Now, for a lot of people, their environment feels like something they can't necessarily change, so focus on what you do have control over. You have control over what your area looks like, and there's a difference between it being messy versus organized chaos. But did you know having a dirty room or house actually negatively affects your brain on a deeper level? As Libby Sander from the Royal Australian College of General Practitioners stated, and I quote, "Our brains like order, and constant visual reminders of disorganization drain our cognitive resources, reducing our ability to focus. The visual distraction of clutter increases cognitive overload and can reduce our working memory." Which is another reason a lot of people get tired when they get mentally overwhelmed and don't have a game plan of what to do. Good thing is there's tons of YouTube videos and free checklists that can help you declutter, and also I highly recommend anything by Marie Kondo because she's helped me a lot with that too. Another pro tip, put on Hoarders, the TV show, and that will motivate you to clean like no other. But another thing you have control over is the type of people you let into your life, your friend group. Make sure the people you hang around are benefiting you. Because something I notice is the people who constantly hang around or bond in something like toxicity or of hating something or constantly just talking shit about various people, etc., stuff like that. They always act confused when their time comes. Like, I've observed this so many times where these people who seem like they were best friends turn on each other with the acute hating they were giving other people because they started talking shit about each other behind each other's backs. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? I understand wanting to fit in and not wanting to be lonely, but surrounding yourself with people who do nothing but that, don't be surprised when it is your turn, because you're not going to be the one they don't do it to. Keep an eye on the company you keep. If someone shows you multiple times they are a shitty person, keep that shit noted and be grateful you learned it fast rather than down the line. Surround yourself with friends who will give you a reality check for your worst habits and tendencies, but they do it because they care about you and they give you kindness and love regardless. The ones who support you and encourage you. Find the kind of friends you'd make family. That's what's very important. Some people are very confused by how to even go about doing that, but it just comes from observation. Now, this is something I firmly believe is built through evaluative experience unless you are just a naturally zen, nonchalant person. If you're a person who reacts abruptly and crashes out, especially in public, and think you're intimidating, you're sadly not. The majority of people in the room aren't looking at you like you're big and scary, but more like you're an overgrown toddler throwing a tantrum and where's your caretaker? A lot of people will see you like Angelica from Rugrats. That is not a flex. That is just sad. All the other stuff on here will better help you control yourself, but even online, you can get roped into stuff unintentionally. But if you can choose how you respond to conflict, it's more effective. Think of it like the difference between a machine gun and a sniper shot. Machine guns can blow away an entire room but cause a lot of damage where it's unnecessary and may not even hit the target. But a sniper is precise, waits for the proper moment, and will guarantee a hit every time if patient enough. In the average population, a sadly common sign of low intelligence is refusing to take responsibility for their own actions, lacking critical thinking skills, and then getting upset at you for making them aware they lack them, and due to their ego getting hurt instead of self-reflecting, they tantrum and turn obstinate. Also, refusal to work on their emotional intelligence. If you actually have these two things down, you are levels above the average person. I am on the side of critical thinking and emotional intelligence, utilizing both empathy and logic, because a lot of the time people are very hyperbolic, especially online, and just look for echo chambers for their thoughts on whatever side they're on, and anything even marginally against them they try to overwhelm and blitz instead of properly analyzing. All the time online you see, oh, this person is a Nazi, queerphobic, misogynistic, racist, rapist, pedophile, and then another side's like, oh no, you're an irrational, woke, always whiny, mentally ill pedophile. And it's like, guys, let's time out for a sec and let's actually analyze and break down what was said or what was done and the reasoning behind it. But a lot of people sadly aren't emotionally mature or intelligent enough to do that and fall victim to this hive mind that affects them like a crab in the bucket. And due to that hyperbolic way of thinking, each side will always turn it into the most extreme of extreme things. When it's like, dude, we're not talking about that specific hypothetical. We're talking about this here. Because the sad thing is, the easier you are to anger, the easier it is to manipulate you and puppet you into doing things you'll regret. I have a whole video coming on that later this year, but being too hyper emotional can be just as harmful as being too AI robot becoming villain because they are too logical. Visually think of it like the difference between boiling water and frigid ice. Boiling water can bubble sporadically to where you can't see clearly and burn everything around it, while frigid ice can come off so cold you can't break through it and can get frostbite in the process. Balance is key. Like Bruce Lee said, be water. That way you can see everything clearly and refresh yourself. A simple, effective way to get better at all of this stuff daily is to use a timer and do everything here for 1 to 10 minutes. You can also print out a brain and steadily color it in every day so you can see your mind improving. You're laying the foundation and steadily building it up piece by piece. And again, those who make the excuse that I have no time for this, yes you do. If you go to my Tackle Life Like Goku video, I have an entire formula for helping you visually see how much time you have in a week to accomplish your goals and how to track them daily on an app like Google Calendar. Remember this, if it was easy, everyone would be a muscular, strong, intelligent person like Batman or any of the characters in my thumbnail, and it wouldn't be as impressive. But it is not common, and this will allow you to stand out and actually evolve to a higher state of being, so you're like a Super Saiyan among humans, actual superhuman. You will become the one who doesn't get manipulated easy. You will become the one who does not lose themselves when everyone around them is losing their composure. You will become the one who can be the tactical, badass Batman character, etc. Don't let people who mitigate their own feelings of inadequacy affect you and your personal goals. If someone sees you doing something they can't do or won't do, don't let them be the crab in the bucket who tries to negate the work you're putting in because they sadly feel inferior. That is on them, not you. And while you can be sympathetic, if someone is perpetually an energy vampire and you notice, I don't feel as passionate for stuff I love because they go on this like negative, pessimistic, bitter BS, you are not in the wrong for distancing yourself or having to cut them off. The people who can't just sort of remain like those Frieza soldiers, and you have a chance to ascend. Also, stop making excuses and hoping things will eventually work out. Take initiative and make the change yourself. I am fighting for you, showing you that there are multiple ways to improve. You just gotta do what you can. We gotta shift that victim mindset to a victor mindset. Remember, 1% better every single day. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, your attention span is already doing better. So type mind ascension in the comment section down below.
And for my patron shoutouts for the month of February, Yura Cadalgo, Legally Sane, Josh Howie, Samurai Girl, Kai's the Great, and Mom and Dad. All of you are super, just saying.
If you have any other tips, leave them down below. Or if you're going to start doing this stuff yourself, you can track it in the comment section down below as well, because I love seeing people improve for the better. I hope you enjoyed. Check out more of my content in the card and end screen. Hit the bell icon and subscribe. And remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, and don't forget, Momentai, 2025 will be a year of non-stop improvement for y'all. You got this.